What happened this day in history? Find out in our Lest We Forget segment. Heart of the Matter is on the need to intensify the fight against illicit drugs in Nigeria. You can track us on www.radionigeriaibadan.gov.ng, X and Instagram at PFM935. You can also watch us live on Facebook at Premier FM 93.5. I am Remi Omolola. Now, the news info. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has said that the time for Nigerians to jointly fight terrorism to a standstill and plead with the aggrieved has come. Oba Ladoja stated this while receiving the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Francis Wale Oke, at the Olubadan Palace, Okearima, in Ibadan. According to the royal father, it is over a decade ago that Nigeria has been battling with the scourge of terrorism. The monarch noted that many people had been killed and property worth inestimable amount of money destroyed, adding that families, particularly women and children, had also been displaced. Oba Ladoja noted that terrorists do not know the difference between Muslim and Christians, but see everybody as a prey, while they are the predators. The monarch therefore wants the PFN to appeal to Christians who are understandably aggrieved that these times will also pass. Oba Ladoja stated in the southwestern Nigeria, where he is more familiar with, people from different religious backgrounds enjoy harmonious relationship. Earlier, the PFM President Bishop Francis Wale Oke had congratulated Oba Ladoja on his emergence as the 44th Olubadan, praying to God to give him wisdom to discharge his obligations as Olubadan to the satisfaction of God and humanity. President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Governor Charles Soludo on his victory and his re-election as governor of Anambra State, describing the outcome as a resounding endorsement of his leadership and achievement over the past 4 years. In a statement, President Bola Tinubu said Governor Soludo's overwhelming victory at Saturday's poll, making the third governor in Anambra's political history to secure a second term in office. He praised the Anambra governor for bringing intellectual depth, discipline, accountability, and prudence resources management into governance. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had declared Professor Charles Soludo winner of Saturday's governorship election with 422,604 votes. Meanwhile, Anambra State Governor Professor Soludo has thanked the people of the state for the re-election into office for another 4 years. In his speech shortly after being declared the winner of Saturday's election, Governor Soludo said it was time to get back to work. The Nigerian Navy has rescued 10 crew members from a distressed vessel, MV Sema III, which was en route to Calabar from Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. This is contained in a statement by the Director of Naval Information, Commodore Ayu Adams Aliyu, in Abuja. Commodore Adams Aliyu said that the Navy had proven its swift response capability and dedication to saving lives at sea. He said the operation was carried out by personnel of Forward Operation Base Ibaka. Commodore Adams Aliyu said the successful rescue operation underscores the Nigerian Navy renewed effort to ensure maritime safety, protection of critical national assets, and promotion of lawful economic activities within Nigeria's maritime domain. You're still on to the news at 11 on Premier 93.5 FM from the stable of Radio Nigeria. We'll be right back. Do stay with us. You're still with us on the news at 11, reaching you from the studios of Premier FM 93.5. Lest we forget, this day in 1995, writer, television producer, and environmentalist Ken Saro-Wiwa and 8 others were hanged after being convicted at a special military tribunal under the regime of General Sani Abacha for allegedly masterminding the murder of 4 Ogoni chiefs. The news continues now to the foreign scene. China says it will suspend for 1 year a special port fee on U.S. vessels simultaneously with Washington's break on levies targeting Chinese ships as a fragile trade truce between the superpowers continue to take shape. Report says that the United States and China have been involved in a volatile trade and tariff war for months, but agreed to work back some punitive measures after President Xi Jinping and Donald Trump met last month in South Korea. According to a report, duties of both sides had reached prohibited triple-digit level at a point, hampering trade between the world's two largest economies and snarling global supply chains. A transport ministry statement said the suspension of the port fees, which applies to ships operated by or built in the United States that visit Chinese port, begin this morning. Now to sports. The Super Eagles camp has officially opened in Rabat, Morocco, with the arrival of 10 players as Nigerians begin final preparation for their crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup playoffs. The first batch of players and team officials arrived at the Rave Hotel Rabat, signaling the start of what could be a decisive week in Nigeria's campaign to return to the world's biggest football stage. The team's media officer Promise Egbohe told newsmen the early arrivals included the trio of Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi and Samuel Chukwueze, as well as Tolu Arokodare and Olakunle Olusegun. He said Benjamin Fredericks and Chigozie Amazie also checked in, raising the total number of players in the camp to 10 as preparation gathered pace. Coach Eric Chile has finalized the 24-man squad for the playoff as he named a strong booster of Europe-based stars and local standouts at the defensive fixtures in Rabat. Nigeria is battling a hidden epidemic, trapping millions of youth in addiction. Today on Straight Talk, we shall turn our attention to the nation's drug crisis. What are the factors fueling drug demand and supply, and how do you identify an adolescent involved in hard drugs? For answers to these and more, join us on Straight Talk, an interview program on Premier FM 93.5 this evening at 6:30. Our guest is a drug demand reduction expert and the executive director, Good Workers Ministry International, Pastor Tunji Agbola. He will shed light on the path to recovery and hope. Don't miss this conversation. Life can take you higher than drugs. Say no to drugs. Say yes to life. In today's Heart of the Matter, Funmilola Obagbaegun of our Current Affairs Unit writes on the need to intensify the fight against illicit drugs in Nigeria.
Nigeria, like many other countries, faces significant challenge in combating the menace of illicit drugs. The issue of drug use and abuse is a serious global problem. Indeed, this menace has attracted both national and international attention over the past 5 to 6 decades. Certain drugs, often classified as hard drugs or controlled substances due to their high potential for abuse and dependence, are in fact used extensively in pharmaceuticals for legitimate medical purposes. These substances are strictly regulated by the government, like opioids used for pain management, morphine, fentanyl, stimulants such as amphetamine and depressants, as well as cocaine, are useful for local anesthetics. The proliferation and abuse of these substances not only poses serious health risks, but also has far-reaching consequences on families, communities, and the nation's economy, security, as well as public health. The increasing number of people becoming addicted to various psychoactive and other illicit drugs in recent times has contributed to both national and international tensions, and the high level of cases of drug trafficking has culminated into problems such as increase in violence and crimes, HIV/AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, and collapse in the social structure. No doubt, illicit drug trade fuels organized crime, banditry, and terrorism in Nigeria, undermining national security and stability. Last month, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, warned nightclub operators and fun seekers against the growing trend of organizing and attending drug parties, describing the practice as a criminal act punishable under the law. The warning followed a weekend raid on a drug party held at a nightclub in Victoria Island, Lagos, where operatives of the NDLEA arrested over 100 attendees, including the club owner and his manager. There is an urgent need to fight against illicit drugs in Nigeria by working together to reduce the harm caused by these substances and build a healthier, safer, and more prosperous society for all. To this end, it is necessary to enhance the capacity of law enforcement agencies to detect, investigate, and prosecute drug-related crimes. Also, the launch of nationwide campaigns to educate the public about the dangers of illicit drug use and the importance of seeking help will go a long way in addressing ignorance among adolescents. The fight against illicit drugs requires a collective effort from government agencies, civil society, families, and individuals to support law enforcement agencies to disrupt drug trafficking networks, provide resources for treatment and rehabilitation programs. In conclusion, the fight against the use of hard drugs and trafficking in the country is an urgent imperative driven by its devastating impact on public health, economic development, national security, families, and individuals, and requires concerted, multifaceted approach to combat it.
The script on the need to intensify the fight against illicit drugs in Nigeria was written by Funmilola Obagbaego of our Current Affairs Unit and read by Chinelo Obidike. And now to end the news at 11 on Premier FM 93.5 from the stable of Radio Nigeria. Here again are the day's top stories. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has said that the time for Nigerians to jointly fight terrorism to a standstill and plead with the aggrieved has come. Oba Ladoja stated this while receiving the president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Francis Wale Oke, at his Olubadan residence, Okearima, in Ibadan. China has said it will suspend for 1 year a special port fee on U.S. vessels simultaneously with Washington break on levies targeting Chinese ships. And lastly, was told you in the news that the Super Eagles camp have officially opened in Rabat, Morocco, with the arrival of 10 players as Nigeria begin the final preparations for their crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup playoffs. For any information, contact us on these numbers 0802-334-5294 and 0803-242-9552 or visit us at number 617 Jibao Crescent, Iyagoku Quarters or Obadebingpe Road, Old Bagidugbe, in Ibadan. You can also track us on www.radionigeria.gov.ng, X and Instagram at PFM935, Facebook